Hi, I'm Izzy.
I'm Jens.
And we are Digitalism in our famous bunker in Hamburg.
And today we're going to show you how we made Roller.
Or how we roll. It's up to you.
Nowadays we work more in the box than we've done it back then. That's due to us traveling all the time. So we usually go into studios around the world a lot more, just plug in and then just record what we have to do or something. But it's always good to come back to our home base here in Hamburg. And Roller is probably a really good example of how we work, because we almost always have what I call it first and second generation projects, where we, for example, we come up with something and then take it into a new project and then mess around with it. It's like sampling yourself, or I mean, other people might just call it, we just print a lot of stuff and then just take it from there. But we've always done it, and I think it all started with when we first started making music on a really low power computer. We had to render a lot of stuff down, because we could only handle 5 tracks at the same time or something. But that made it again very, very difficult for the final mixes. Like if you wanted to change something, you just couldn't, or you had to come up with ideas. Roller is a very good example, because we had this recording a couple of years ago, actually, when we were just messing around with some of the gear in the studio here. And last year in March, we went through material on our old hard drive or something that we took with us to LA, and we stumbled over this. It was like there was a bit of something from a synth in there and some 909 beats, but they weren't separated. It was one thing already, like almost mastered and everything, and we really wanted to do something about it. So first we edited it, and then we played it in the clubs and everything, but then we wanted to give it a 2015 update. It was end of 2014, actually.
Yeah, it was end.
So we tried to find stems, tried to find out how we did everything, and then add to it and everything. Couldn't find much, so we pretty much took the track that we already had, edited it, and added more stems on top, and tried to squeeze everything through a master channel again, and then exported as many stems as we could in order for our friend who eventually mixed it at the end at a different studio to have something in his hands to play with. But he actually had to do things like copying the master wave and routing it onto different channels, just like working on the sub frequencies and this and that and splitting everything up. It wasn't easy, but we just couldn't find the original material anymore. We've recreated a bit of the setup. I guess like that's how it started or something. And we're gonna show you what we've done with the material that we had in our hands. That's the thing. We do something, record it, and we've got a million of projects on the computer. We don't know what's what and how we did it and stuff, but we just move on usually and just take it into something else.
I guess like the thing is with us, we're just playing around, record it, and then we put it to a side.
Yeah, we even give it a really silly name.
Yeah.
So
like Banana Joe or something else, or like a metal band is playing underneath and we just say fuck metal, so And then you totally forgot about this project. So, and then it comes back one day when you listen to all the sessions. You say, yeah, that one was a good one. So.
Yeah, or we have a folder called Super Bunker Sounds, because we're in a World War II civilian bunker in Hamburg here. And it's like a bin for a lot of things, and yeah, we found that recording. I think, I don't know why but usually when we buy new gear, we play around with it, and then after a while we get bored, and then we put it in the shelves. I don't know, so this must have been like years and years ago when we probably we've had the 101 for ages. Maybe, I don't know, or we got a new pedal, distortion pedal or something. We're just trying out stuff, and then we just did a live jam, recorded that wobble line or something, and then just left it, and then rediscovered it last year actually. Yeah. But in between, obviously, one of us put some beats underneath it. But what we found was this. So there's a lot of stuff in there, but we don't know how we did it, and we don't know when.
This is how we start actually as well in the past, like without thinking, doing something, but in the past we finish it, and now we just keep on working, and sometimes it's pretty normal that you're forgetting pretty good stuff, and this is the fun part actually, if you're listening again to a hard drive, that you realize there's something good, and then just say we have to finish it. But the problem is always to find the stand, so...
Yeah, because nowadays we care a bit more about the final mix and everything. So we tried to come up with a couple of stems, but we didn't have stuff separate. We managed to find... the original, let's call it a 101 line or something. We managed to find that. So that's already something. So that's good for anyone who wants to remix it, you know.
Exactly.
That was something we wanted to work on. So we started editing what we had there, and then we started adding things on top, and then tried to squeeze everything through a master chain at the end. So also because I think when we had this very raw thing that we found on our hard drive, we played it in a car somewhere, and it had so much sub bass in it that you just couldn't really listen to it. So we had to cut stuff out and then replace it and everything, and it's like a rabbit hole. Like once you start doing that, then you have to do everything around it. So, but I mean, that's something we really like. Is just working very fast on something. Doing stuff very quickly, and then we don't really care so much about the quality of it. So we've got these notes here. It's F sharp and A, distributed over 2 bars. And I'm just gonna arm this here. Just gonna get a bit noisy probably. If you play that through here, or after that through the SH1 or what, and add a nice distortion to it, then that's when you get that nasty sound. What we probably would have done is, we can just, it's so easy, this line, you know, it's just a couple of notes, you can just play it manually, but we also like to put stuff through the canton here, which translates MIDI signal coming from the computer into control voltage and gate signals. There's newer devices out now, I think, by other brands as well. But this has always been like, I've seen this like with a lot of bands on tour as well, and it's always been a very
good
reliable companion. And you can change a lot of things. For example, different synthesizers have different specifications with like what's the ratio between, like, because it's all controlled by voltage, like to an octave, or how does it know when a note starts and stops and stuff. So for the 101, I think I found here, it was, if anyone is interested, well, you can Google that as well. It's a 5-volt pull-up gate, and then we have the volt per octave scaling. So this doesn't sound like much for now. It is kind of the line that we want. So a bit of digitalism magic would be to
Add this now.
add a bit of distortion, yeah. Actually, quite a lot of distortion. And then you want, obviously, anyone who knows roller knows what kind of sound we're looking for. So it's definitely more, you know, there's the filter is involved. So you want to, you know, you want it to resonate a bit. And also, good thing about this synth is you can add the envelope to the filter as well, and then you get, you know, a bit of attack and stuff. You know, this will be a bit shorter maybe, and you get the nice roller sound. So I'm pretty sure this is how we did it. But if you listen to to the original recording in full, it does some things. I don't know how we did it, but I found a way to show you how we did the second part of it. So, and then yeah, at the beginning the song just starts like just very short and filtered, and then it goes like, you know, you just open the envelope a bit more. Just keep it short if you want to reproduce this. And also, I found that, sorry about this noise, I added a bit of modulation on the pitch here because we found out that it's not really exactly those notes, so it is a bit of like trembling around there or something. So just add a bit of, yeah, very fast sine wave modulation on it or something, and you get a bit more, you know. It was very difficult. We tried to, you know, tune kick drums at the end when we mixed it down and stuff, and it's just like, it was a nightmare. But so yeah, that's what you want to do is, you know, just open this up and that should do the job. The second part, this part here, we can reproduce by having these notes here, just an E and an F sharp, and then and just making sure that you have staccated A's in between, and then the synth will just like go up and down all the time, and then you can add a bit of filter modulation there as well by hand, which is like the good thing about the 101. We didn't use it, I think, on this one, is but the mod wheel is like almost like an X and Y one, so you can go up or sideways. Bit of trivia there. So let's just try to get this sound. Obviously, you don't need much of the envelope here anymore. So I'm just trying to reproduce this stuff. Hang on. Oh yeah. Okay, it definitely needs to okay, and then we already got the notes in here, but we're gonna emphasize that with a bit of like filter modulation there as well. So at the minute the bender is doing nothing, but you can do this, for example. just help it out a bit. I think that's pretty much what we did there, probably 5 or 6 years ago, but it's hard. We already had drums in there, which we probably built in Logic. I don't think we used the 909, it's just here, so it looks cooler on the video. Usually when we record any hardware, we record it in Logic. So I assume that we did the drums. This is just an example now, it's not the drums, but that we did them in Logic as well, because we think that Logic is very good for, it's just very good for recording things. We do all the vocal recordings with Logic, comping and everything. You don't get that in Ableton, you know. The handling is much better, and it's, I guess originally it's been almost built for that, you know. Ableton's catching up probably, but we still like to do that in Logic. So I assume we just added drums in Logic by, you know, we do a lot of, we just call it like quickie whatever stuff. So we just, okay, oh, this sounds good, let's quickly add this. And then let's render it off so we can listen to it at home and then maybe play it on the weekend. And then we don't touch it again. And that's probably how this all started as well. So I just tried to recreate a bit of the drums here in Logic. Actually, that's a Logic 9, I think. The built-in like drums actually always sounded really good. So if you listen to the roller material that we had, it sounded very like warehousey or something. So you definitely, I couldn't really find a chain that we used back then, but you definitely need to add some distortion, and then we don't mind it clipping. Actually, it's fine for us.
We like clipping.
And then what we did now we're going back to Ableton.
Switch around, so this is usually for us. I guess it's have as well a positive effect if you're jumping around from program to program. Might be some people think it's
you
not.
have to learn all the programs.
Yeah, but you have definitely like the advantage of it, because like in Ableton you can really edit few things or sample yourselves pretty good. And as Jens mentioned, the recording is much better in Logic. And I guess it's a good combination because you can be creative again on what you're doing. And
yeah, we show you a couple of things that we did in like kind of after editing in live, which is easier to do that in Logic, for example. That's probably how we got these beats into this wave here. It's like, you know. But of course we couldn't really give it to the mastering studio like that, really.
Forget it.
It was also, turns out it was an MP3.
Exactly.
We were looking for the original recordings. We were looking, because we wanted to give the mixing engineer things to play around with. So we found a couple of things that were in there, and then it was up to him to decide what, the stems wouldn't be separated, but if he needs them on top as well, then he's got it. So first we edited this whole thing because what we had here was just the same thing twice. If you listen to this here, for example, from there, go on, because we didn't have anything. So last year we started playing it, and it was kind of 2 minutes something, ending with probably this bit here. Oh, hang on. And then it would it would start from the beginning again. That's what we built, just because we didn't have much time. We wanted to do this. So we started editing this stuff. So the first thing, and make the track a bit more interesting and stuff, because there was not much happening. It would have been enough, I guess. So first thing would have been, breaking it up. We usually have, it's not always like that, but we usually have a very long break that leads into the last third of the track or something. So we built that. I'll show you in a sec. And also we didn't even have, mix-in beats or something. Because if you start cutting, you can't get rid of anything that's in there. So we had to get creative, which is great.
Once again,
that's how everything works here in the bunker. You just because you don't have the means to do it right, so you have to get creative. Yeah, we just chopped up the very beginning of this file, and just left out. Yeah, if you just take the very first beat and loop it. So that's okay. Can live with that. We did find, like I said, the original what we're recording. So that was something good for the mix engineer. So
at least.
Yeah. So but also to make it sound a bit more updated and everything, because it sounds very muddy. So we did start adding stuff on top. So very first move would have been, because we already have enough bottom end in it and stuff, we added
a kick.
Exactly, we added a top kick. So just something on top that kind of cuts through a bit. You can tune the main body of the kick. You can load in different top bits for it and stuff. And I think that's how we did that. It's just from one of our bunker sound libraries or something. That top kick. I think it's very important to have that on top. And then, for example, before this kicks in, we already had some beats starting before it, just to mix in. So we also added a snare, which would be not just something to add a bit of brilliance on top, because we lost all the brilliance. Like I said, I thought it was an MP3 originally, but the frequencies are in there, but it doesn't sound like it. So. And then also, so we basically recreated the beats that were in there, but just put the stuff slightly on top and leave the main work to the original wave that we had in there. So, for example, the hi-hats, we built a little thing that first sounded different than it sounds now. Hang on. We used drum rack a lot, but then it's also good to have it just handy, just like little loops. You can drag them in, but they still don't sound tight enough. So that's when you add a little gate to it and stuff. This will be the EQ for it. We're not mix masters or something. Like I said, at the end, someone else mixed what we gave the guys, but we kind of did a bit of pre-work there. We already had these beats here. Just to mix in with, and then we'd have what I chopped up there come in. Now, if you look at the signal in of the main wave, you can already tell that there's a lot of really nasty bottom end going on. So that was that car nightmare that we were talking about, because our friend was like, "Oh, I just had it on in the car," and the car system is just so subby. So he couldn't listen to the track. It was just like... So that's when we applied a couple of things to this. A really nice plugin that we use a lot by DMG Audio, is Equality. it's just compared to built-in EQs and everything, it just turns out to be very precise and very. The sound is really good, and there's not many artifacts and stuff. So we cut out everything up to 40 hertz, and then especially cut out. There must have been like a lot of sub around 48 hertz or something. That's probably what you see here. If you like this bit here, so we cut that out as well. Plus some little adjustments there. Then there's always. We're not very tidy, so there's one EQ, and then we add a next one where we don't care about the quality anymore and stuff.
Like we like to add. It's like an adventure trip for us. Like Indiana Jones is like having trouble, or MacGyver is in trouble and have to think how he have to do stuff.
Yeah, I like this way of working. It's not very conventional, but it makes you very creative and. Yeah. So and then there was one more thing. It already sounded good now because it was on, but so there's isotope alloy on it as well. We just wanted to get the bass drum, the body of it, a bit shorter in order for it to leave more space for whatever is going on in the track. And a very quick way to do this is use the transient shaper in, for example, this is alloy now. There's other ones as well, but it's very easy to use because it's multi-band. So you can maybe hear the difference when we kick it in. So this is bypass now, and then you can. You don't want all this like very long tail, so we did cut that out a bit and added a bit more attack. Didn't really do much about the other bits here, but that was already, that cleaned it up a lot. We didn't only prepare the thing, like build it, arrange it, and everything, but we also already like went into like plastic surgery mode. Well, there's a few bits more going on.
But only few.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it's in here. There's a couple of sounds in there that we've got separate here as well. It's just, stuff that's from the already mentioned Superbunker Sounds bin folder. And then there's this one's in there as well, which is I don't think it's worth showing you how that's been done, but it's basically this sample here.
It's a famous chick sample. No, just kidding.
I just like play it as MIDI notes in the sampler and then run what we've done. I think this is like in Logic, and we added the guitar amp and stuff. We actually like that quite a lot. That plugin, because it's got, if you want really you just want some spring reverb or something, like the cheapest way, you just use that plugin in Logic. We tried to add bass, because if there was any bass, it would have been on. Actually, I mean, this is bassy enough, but if you want more bass, you would probably want to add it to the like to each beat. So you have like oomph, 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 oomph. But when we tried it out, and it sounded just really not good. Yeah, no character in it. It's just you don't need it. So at the end, I can't show you that here, but at the end, what we did in the final mix in the other studio was we really tried to get that kick drum resonating again, a bit more controlled in a separate kind of aux bus track or something, and it just resonated. It's just had the wrong pitch. But it doesn't really matter because this track is between like certain keys and stuff, so it didn't really matter that much. I think it's semitone too high or too low or something, but it does the job. It gives you that kind of bassy push with each kick. So that's just the original wave, you know. And then everything kicks back in here. Quick first break. And so on. That's all just exactly like the original recording that we had. I think we cut out a little bit at the end here.
Exactly.
But now it gets a bit more interesting.
For the break.
So we have a very, very long breakdown here where we started playing with the original wah sample recording thing. And there's a couple of things happening. So I just... So first of all, because we had to cut the original, we needed a bit of, we just had to insert a little bit of like a transition, you know, so it doesn't sound so cut off. That leads into the break, which is just a very subtle, you know, like this starts playing on top and then with a bit of reverb leads into the break. Otherwise it would sound like this. Yeah. So there's a bit of filtering going on. We've got a grain delay, which is just sort of built in even stuff like I said before, because we had to ping pong the project back and forth. It's just easier for everyone, because everyone's got that. We do have an RMX 1000, the Pioneer software, hands up in the air effects, kind of. I think we added a bit of just rhythmic modulation in it or something.
Exactly.
I don't know what we did. Just a bit of a roll there or something. We have a look at this. There's another filter that is. Well, I have a look at it as well. Multiband. That's just to keep it in check when it gets too harsh later in the break. Then we have. This is always a very. Which one is it? 6. Hang on. Well, I'll find out later. And again, equality, because it's always very good. And these were some frequencies that we had to tame, apparently. So this break is just built for modulating the original recording. And it sounds, well, everyone probably knows how it sounds, but I just played it. So we've got, it's all filtering down, of course. There's a bit of a low cut here. And then the RMX is kicking in with a bit of stuff doing on the low end there.
It's always moving, so...
Yeah, we just wanted to keep it just like kind of alive and stuff. And then also... Oh no, that's coming later. Okay, cool. The grain delay does its bit, just a bit more like echoes and stuff. And
so it's a good harmonization with the
starts
aerodynamics.
flanging,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Just playing with the ratios here. And now we have something that we built in silence. We built, because we're a big fan of this, what was it called? Mouth to mouth
from Audion.
Audion.
Yeah.
It's got this synth in it that kind of keeps on rising all the time. And I think a couple of years ago we tried to rebuild that sound. So if you have a note and it's playing, then it kind of does this. And it plays with a very delayed pitch modulation, controlled by the LFO and stuff that kind of kicks in later. And so we added a couple of those. Okay, so these are kicking in. And then also on the main bit, what we did, we sent it to frequency shift aux. That's slowly going, like it's just slowly shifting the frequency up. So you get a bit of just some weird modulation going on there. As this, hang on. That's all going on in the break, and then at the end we hard edited the wave file again. So
as
that's
you can see.
Just very hardcore chopping here, and it creates kind of almost like a vocoder sound or something. So there's one thing which is an envelope on this wave. First you have to warp it, of course. It's basically pitches it down towards the end. So it's like a bit like a vinyl stop or something. And then the whole thing kicks in again, and it sounds a bit like this. And we did the same with the kind of vinyl stop thing here in this bit. Just adds to it, just gives it another push, you know. And then we're already working on the outro here, which is again kind of the stuff from the beginning. We put it at the end, but in order for us to kind of filter this down, make it sound like it's actually fading out now and stuff, we had to be tricky and add another. Just listen to this. So now this is kicking in here. And it's actually filtering down now. Yeah, otherwise just be that. And we've got the outro beats, whatever you want to call it. So that's all we did. Simple is always good, of course. I mean, having said that, there's lots of tracks where we add 1,000 layers or something, and it gets really hard to mix. Probably, yeah, that's what we do. And then, yeah, like everyone's got a bit of a master chain. In this case, it's just this, but we didn't even use it because when we exported the stems, we just like bypass everything, of course.
I hate mixing. I have to admit that mixing is not my thing. You can like shoot me on the Mars.
Yeah, I mean, but we've done all our mixes ourselves until I think we started last year with. We started.
I guess 2012.
Yeah, I think the first thing because we did one track with Tommy Trash, Falling, and he just because he did a Tommy Trash version of it, and while he was on it, he mixed it anyway. And that's when we started mixing with other people. Then we went back to mixing ourselves. It's always been annoying because you can spend weeks mixing something. It's good to give it away. So someone just says, "Okay, this is it, done now," and then you get it back. That's what we learned. Roller was mixed by Matt Wiggins, who is he's a resident at the Church Studios in North London. That's where it's Paul Epworth's studio, and there's a couple of rooms in there. They just refurbished the whole thing. It looks amazing. Very good sound in there, and he's a very creative guy. It's a bit like this was the perfect project for him. We took it over to the church, and as there wasn't much to mix. My point is that he, it's a big challenge. Yeah, no, but like he likes that. You know, if you just get everything on a golden plate or something, it's maybe a bit boring. So he had to come up with ideas of like rerouting, copying, rerouting. Stuff, and then we ran it through a couple of like hardware EQs at the end and this and that, and we still have this and this upstairs. Let me quickly go get it. That's when it's fun, you know. That was a nice session.
So this track it's not been in America. But this track is made in Europe, in different countries, like let's say here, and then mixed. It was in the church studios in London, and then we went mastering the first time in Paris. Actually, that was our first time ever.
Yes, by Chab.
Exactly.
Chab, yeah. Who's done a lot of stuff, including a lot of French. He also he's done. Did he do Air as well?
He did Air. He did Daft Punk.
Random Access Memories.
Exactly.
Maybe but loads of stuff.
So he did a lot of stuff.
And his master was really good. Yeah, we were really happy when we got it back.